Today I have a mega lesson for you so you can improve all areas of your English in the next 1 hour. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. First, in this masterclass, let's focus on your listening skills so you can understand native English speakers quickly and easily the first time. Here's how this lesson will work. I'm going to say a sentence at a fast pace 3 times, and you need to write down exactly what you hear in the comments. Are you ready? Let's start your first listening exercise. I'll say it 3 times. I'm a little rusty. I'm a little rusty. I'm a little rusty. Did you get this one? I said I'm a little rusty. Now notice here, I'm using a contraction, I'm. This is I am, I'm. Now let's talk about a little. Notice I didn't pronounce those T's. I pronounced them as soft D's. A little, little, the, little. And I connected them together, a little, a little. Now, sometimes native speakers will completely drop those T's and they won't pronounce it at all, and it will sound like lil, lil. And then again, you connect it with the a lil, a lil. A little rusty, a little rusty.
I'm a little rusty.
Now, what does it mean to be a little rusty? Rusty is an adjective. So for sentence structure, you need to use the verb to be rusty. I'm a little rusty, she's a little rusty. This is when a skill or an ability isn't as good as it used to be. Why? Because of lack of practice. So pay attention, English learners, because you don't want to say, I'm a little rusty with my English. You don't want to say that. You definitely don't want to say, I haven't watched a JForrest English lesson in months, so my English is a little rusty. That doesn't describe you, right? So put in the comments, I'm not rusty, because you're watching this lesson right now, you're practicing your English, which means you're not rusty. I'm not rusty, put it in the comments. You can use this with any skill or ability. It's commonly used with sports. Let's say you play tennis, but it's winter right now, so you can't play tennis because it's winter. You might say, I haven't played tennis in 6 months, so I'm very rusty. So notice in the sentence, I said, I'm very rusty. You could also talk about the specific skill or ability. You could say, my serve, my tennis serve, my serve is very rusty.
Well, my Latin's a little rusty.
Like pretty rusty.
I'm very rusty.
Let's try this again. I'll say it 3 times. We tweaked the plan. We tweaked the plan. We tweaked the plan. Did you get this one? I said we tweaked the plan. Now notice the pronunciation of tweak. This is in the past simple, so it's an ed verb. But because the verb ends on a k, we need a soft t. So it's not tweaked, that's incorrect. It's tweaked, tweaked. But when you use this in a sentence and there are words after, you're going to drop that T sound entirely. So notice how tweaked the sounds in this sentence. We tweaked the plan. It just sounds like the present simple, tweak. It's the context that will make it obvious that I'm talking about a past action, not the pronunciation. What does it mean to tweak something? When you tweak something, you change it slightly, so just a little. And you do that to make it more correct or more effective.
Uncle Jim's tweaking the 5-phase plan.
So let's say your friend or coworker wants you to review a speech they wrote and you really like it, but you don't like the conclusion. You might say, your speech is great, but I'd tweak the conclusion if I were you. So you're suggesting that they make a slight change, a small change to the conclusion to make it better, more effective.
I do have one small tweak.
Sorry, you have a tweak?
Now, we also use this to make the changes that we've made sound less significant, so to sound small. So if someone gets upset because you changed their speech or presentation or plan, you can say, oh, no, I didn't change it. I just tweaked it, which means you did change it, but you only did it slightly, a very small amount. I just tweaked it.
And we tweak it.
Are you enjoying this lesson? If you are, then I want to tell you about the Finally Fluent Academy. This is my premium training program where we study native English speakers from TV, the movies, YouTube, and the news so you can improve your listening skills of fast English, expand your vocabulary with natural expressions, and learn advanced grammar easily. Plus, you'll have me as your personal coach. You can look in the description for the link to learn more, or you can go to my website and click on Finally Fluent Academy. Now let's continue with our lesson. Let's try this again. I'll say it 3 times. Keep an eye out for him. Keep an eye out for him. Keep an eye out for him. Did you hear what I said? I said keep an eye out for him. Now let's talk about an eye out. Because native speakers will combine all these sounds together so it sounds like one, an eye out. An eye out. And notice that I didn't say for him. I dropped that H sound on him and it sounded like for him. And then it also sounds like one word. Keep an eye out for him. Let's take a look at the grammar because notice keep, this is the base verb. So that means it's the imperative verb tense. And I'm using this because I'm giving an order or a command. Keep an eye out for him. I'm not asking, I'm telling.
Just keep an eye out.
This is an expression and it means that you watch carefully for someone or something. So let's say you're driving along and you have car troubles. Maybe you get a flat tire, so you have to pull to the side of the road. Now, while you're trying to fix the car, maybe you tell your friend, keep an eye out for other cars. So watch carefully for other cars so you can say, help, help, we need help. Or you might say, keep an eye out for snakes because maybe you're in the desert.
I'll keep an eye out.
We use this a lot in the workplace. Let's say you're expecting a delivery, but you have to leave to go to a meeting. You might say to your coworker, I'm going to a meeting, can you keep an eye out for the delivery? So you're asking your coworker to watch for the delivery, but watch carefully.
Keep an eye out.
Let's try this one more time. I'll say it 3 times. Can you show her the ropes? Can you show her the ropes? Can you show her the ropes? Do you know what I said? I said, can you show her the ropes? Now notice can, because this is an auxiliary verb, it's not the main verb, it's pronounced as kin. It's an unstressed sound, kin. Can you show? Because show is the main verb. Can you show her? Now here, her, same thing, we can drop that H and it will sound like Can you show her?
I'm happy to show her the ropes.
When you show someone the ropes, and notice ropes is always plural. When you show someone the ropes, this is an expression and we use it when you show someone how to do a job or an activity or a task. So if there's a new employee or a new member on your team, your boss might ask you, can you show her the ropes? And you can say, I'm happy to show her the ropes. And if you're the new employee receiving the training, after you can say, thanks so much for showing me the ropes.
Like no one showed me the ropes.
Don't worry, we showed her the ropes.
Then Dr. Yang is showing him the ropes.
Now let's do an imitation exercise so you can practice your pronunciation. I'm going to say each sentence 3 times, and I want you to repeat each sentence out loud. I'm a little rusty. I'm a little rusty. I'm a little rusty. We tweaked the plan. We tweaked the plan. We tweaked the plan. Keep an eye out for him. Keep an eye out for him. Keep an eye out for him. Can you show her the ropes? Can you show her the ropes? Can you show her the ropes? Amazing job improving your listening skills. Now, understanding the expressions that native speakers use is one of the best ways to improve your listening skills. So that's what we'll do right now. I'm going to share 19 expressions that I use every single day. Some of these expressions I use multiple times a day. So if you learn them, you'll be able to understand native speakers better and you'll sound more fluent and natural. So let's learn those expressions now. In this lesson, I'm going to explain each expression and then I'll give you an example sentence so you know how to use it in your speech. Sound good? And I just used expression number 1. Did you hear it? I said, sound good. Sound good with a question is the short form of does that sound good to you? So native speakers just take the sound good, but you have to add a rising intonation to show it's a question. Sound good? And this is used to get confirmation or approval when you share a plan or idea.
Sound good?
And if I ask you, sound good, how are you going to reply? Sounds good. Sounds good is the short form of that sounds good to me. Now notice here you need the S on the verb because it's in the present simple. That sounds good. So sounds good is the short form. And this is used to confirm that you agree with someone's plan or idea. So let's practice this. I'm going to start making more lessons for you. Sound good? Sounds good. Sounds great. Sounds amazing.
Sound good? Sounds great.
So if you want me to keep making more lessons for you, put sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. Put that in the comments. Our next expression, will do. I use this absolutely every single day. So let's say someone asks you to do something. Can you send the invoice to the client? To confirm that you will do this, you simply say will do. So don't say I will do it because a native speaker wouldn't say that. We just say will do. So let's practice this one. Can you do me a favor and like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe because it really helps support my channel. And you can reply back and say, will do, Jennifer. How's it going? This is our next expression and I use it every single day, multiple times a day. Of course, you can say, how are you? This is used in more impersonal situations like if you're at the grocery store. You can also say, how are you doing? This emphasizes right now. How are you doing right now? My favorite is how's it going, which is more general, it's casual, but very natural. And as a bonus to reply, remember you need to say it's. It's going good, great, amazing, awesome.
How's it going?
Great.
Our next expression is what's going on with something. What's going on with the project, the deadline, the proposal, a something. And this is used to inquire about the status of something. But you can also use this with people. What's going on with Janice? She seems upset. So you're inquiring into the current status of Janice. Are you enjoying this lesson? If you are, then I want to tell you about the Finally Fluent Academy. This is my premium training program where we study native English speakers from TV, the movies, YouTube, and the news so you can improve your listening skills of fast English, expand your vocabulary with natural expressions, and learn advanced grammar easily. Plus, you'll have me as your personal coach. You can look in the description for the link to learn more, or you can go to my website and click on Finally Fluent Academy. Now let's continue with our lesson. Our next expression, keep me in the loop. I love this one, use it every day. So let's say your colleagues are working on a project and they share with you that they're getting proposals from the vendors today. You can reply back and say, great, keep me in the loop. And this is used to request that new information or updates are shared with you as they happen. As a full sentence, you can say, keep me in the loop on the proposals. So you're requesting that as soon as information is available about the proposals, that information will be shared with you. So if I request that you keep me in the loop and you want to confirm that you will do it, what would you say? Those two words? Will do. Keep me in the loop, will do. Our next expression, just following up. Just following up. So I could send an email to one of my colleagues and say, just following up on the project proposals. Have you heard anything from the vendors? The expression just following up is used when you continue a previous conversation. Because remember, I already talked to my colleagues about the vendors. I asked them to keep me in the loop, but I haven't heard anything and it's been hours or days. So I'm going to send a message and say, just following up. Our next expression is an acronym, ASAP, which stands for as soon as possible. For pronunciation, you can say ASAP or ASAP. ASAP, ASAP. Both of them are very commonly used. We use this in both requests, can you get me that information ASAP? And we use it to confirm a task. I'll get that to you ASAP.
ASAP.
ASAP. Gotcha.
Our next expression is no rush. This is the short form of there's no rush, and this is used to say that a request isn't urgent. If you got a text from someone that said, call me ASAP, you would assume that's urgent. You might even think that something is wrong, something happened. But if you got a text that said, call me when you can, no rush, you would know that there is no urgency.
No rush.
Let's talk about the expression, no worries, no worries. I use this one probably 5 times or more every single day. No worries. Maybe you got a text from your colleague that says, I'm sorry I didn't follow up sooner. Remember our expression to follow up? I'm sorry I didn't follow up sooner. And you can reply back and say, no worries. This is used to say that you're not upset about something.
No worries.
We also use this in situations like when you bump into someone when you're walking down the street, or if you're at the grocery store and you accidentally bump into someone with your shopping cart and you say, oh, sorry, and then they can say, no worries, to let you know they're not upset. Now let's talk about, oh, really? Oh, really? I use this one so much. Oh, really? Your friend could share some exciting news and say, I'm taking 3 weeks off to volunteer with elephants. And you can reply back and say, oh, really? Oh, really? This is used to acknowledge news that someone shared, but in a surprising way. Notice there's surprise in my voice. Oh, really? You are? You're taking 3 weeks off to volunteer with elephants? Wow. Now let's talk about good to know. So your friend can say, I'll be volunteering for 3 weeks, but I'll still call you every day. And then you can say, good to know, good to know. This is used to acknowledge news that someone shared in a positive way. So maybe you know the area where your friend will be volunteering and you let them know that there's an amazing waterfall nearby and they should visit it. They can reply back and say, good to know.
Good to know.
Heads up, Gina isn't coming to the party. Our next expression is heads up. This is used to give advanced warning of something. So I'm telling you before the party starts that Gina won't be there. And this is important information for you for some reason. We use this a lot in a business context. For example, just a heads up, I followed up with Leo. He'll get us the proposal ASAP. So notice, just a is optional. You can say just a heads up or simply heads up. I personally use both probably equally. And the person can reply to the message and say, good to know. Our next expression, hopefully you don't need to use this one too much. I'm running late. I'm running late. This is how a native speaker would say that they're going to be late. They're going to arrive after the time they said they would arrive. I'm running late. So you might send a message to your colleague and say, heads up, advance warning, heads up, I'm running late, start the meeting without me. And your coworker could text back and say, will do. This next expression, I ask my husband every single morning. I say, what do you have on the go today? This is an alternative to what are you doing today? And native speakers love using it. What do you have on the go today? Now to reply, Kevin will simply tell me what he's doing. So he'll use the present continuous. I'm finalizing the proposal, and this afternoon I'm following up with some leads. I love this next one. Let's catch up. Let's catch up. And I love this because it's so fun catching up with people, at least in my opinion. Generally, I use this as a short text, and I might say, hey, let's catch up soon. And we use this to say that you want to plan a social outing, not professionally, but a social outing to learn what the person has been doing since the last time you saw them or spoke to them. So if my friend has been volunteering on an elephant farm for 3 weeks, I could send her a message and say, let's catch up when you're back from volunteering. I can't wait to hear all about it. Our next expression is, are you free? But you need to complete the sentence. So remember in the last example, I said, let's catch up when you're back from volunteering. Then I can add, are you free on Saturday? So on a specific day. Are you free on Saturday? So this expression is used to ask if someone is available to do something specific. Are you free to catch up this weekend? Are you free to chat? This next one will definitely make you sound like a native speaker. Are you good to? Are you good to meet at 4? This is how a native speaker would get confirmation if someone is available to do something specific. Now, I could also ask one of my colleagues, are you good to lead the presentation? And in this sense, I could also be asking if they feel capable of doing something specific. So maybe this colleague is relatively new, or maybe they've never given a presentation before, so I want to confirm that they feel capable. Are you good to lead the presentation? Your colleague could reply back and say, oh, don't worry, I'm good to go. I'm good to go. That's a bonus expression for you. And finally, one that I use all the time in the comments, and one that I hear a lot of students try to use but use it incorrectly, is simply you rock, you rock. In the comments, you might see me say, great example, you rock. So I'm simply telling you that you did a great job. I could also say, thanks so much for helping me, you rock. So in this case, it's used as a casual way to show appreciation or to praise someone. The mistake I see with my students is they write, you are rock, you are rock. but that's not the expression. It's you rock, because this is a verb, to rock. You rock.
You rock, Glenn. You rock, Darcy!
Now, because this is a verb, you can conjugate it. And it's very common to say you rocked in the past simple. You rocked the presentation, which means you did a great job with the presentation.
But you rocked it!
You are doing such an amazing job. Now let's continue on and focus on some very specific grammar mistakes that I see students make again and again and again. So you'll fix these common mistakes so you sound more fluent and professional in English. So let's review those mistakes now. This sentence has one mistake in it. Feel free to hit pause, review the sentence, and try to identify the mistake. Now, these are real sentences by real students of mine in the Finally Fluent Academy. I review example sentences for my students every single day, and these are the mistakes that they commonly make that we're correcting in this lesson. So do you know what this mistake is? The mistake is with track record. Now we have one of the best track record. So one of suggests that there's more than one. So the noun needs to be plural. The correct sentence is, this machine has one of the best track records in its group. Our next sentence, your assignment was late. Please explain why you failed to do. What's the mistake? The mistake is leaving out the object. You need to say, please explain why you failed to do it, and it represents the assignment, which was already said. Now, even though it's obvious you're talking about the assignment, you need an object here grammatically. Our next sentence, being a great communicator in all situations set you up for success. What's the mistake here? It's set you up. This is the wrong verb conjugation because we have this gerund expression, being a great communicator in all situations. Now, students will often look at that in all situations and they think that's what you need to conjugate the verb with, but it's not. It's the gerund expression, which is being a great communicator in all situations. And all of this is the subject, it. If you had to choose a subject for it, it would be the subject, it, or this. This sets you up for success. So you need to add an S to that verb because it's conjugated with it as the subject and it's the present simple. Now, if you had a noun, you would say this situation sets you up for success. That's the singular noun. Or you could say all situations. Now this is plural, it's they. All situations set you up for success. So with the noun, you conjugate it with singular or plural, but when the sentence starts with a gerund verb, being, it's conjugated as it. How about this sentence? I want to run something to you. Do you know what the mistake is? Well, technically, this is grammatically correct, but it's the literal meaning. I want to run something, maybe this iPad, I want to run something to you. Now, my student, when they use this, they were trying to use the expression to run something by or past someone, which is when you share an idea with someone in order to get feedback on that idea. So the mistake here is using the wrong preposition, which can entirely change the meaning because now it's not the expression, I want to share an idea to get feedback. Now it's, I want to literally run something to you, which is not what my student wanted to communicate. How about this sentence? Lately, I'm worried about my English test. What's the mistake? The mistake is using the wrong verb tense with lately or recently. And I hear this mistake a lot. Lately or recently means the action started in the past and it continues until now, and it might continue into the future. So what verb tense do we need? The present perfect continuous. Lately, I've been worrying about my English test. And you could also say recently, I've been worrying about my English test. Now remember that these are real mistakes that my real students in the Finally Fluent Academy have made. If you're that student who made this mistake, don't worry, because that's the whole purpose of taking lessons. I love it when my students make mistakes because it means I get to share something with them. I get to teach them something and they get to improve. So if you are also making these mistakes, don't worry. The important thing is that you're correcting them right now. And of course, if you want my personalized support, you can simply join the Finally Fluent Academy. You can check out the link in the description to learn more. Our next sentence, we need to stop problem in its tracks. What's the mistake? The student forgot the article. This is definitely the most common mistake I hear, even with my advanced students, is leaving out articles or not using articles correctly overall. So here, problem is a singular countable noun, so it needs an article. We need to stop the problem in its tracks. Now, you could also say we need to stop this problem in its tracks. You could even say we need to stop a problem in its tracks. But you need some article before a singular countable noun, unless it's one of the many nouns that are exceptions and don't take articles, which is why students struggle with articles so much, and which is why I help my students in the Finally Fluent Academy and provide this support, because the use of articles is so specific in English. Let's look at this sentence. Whenever a student joins the Finally Fluent Academy, they always introduce themselves, and one of the questions is, what do you do for a living? And a lot of students will reply back and say, I'm accountant. I'm accountant. What's the problem here? Again, it's articles. You need an article before a job title. So you would need to say, I'm an accountant. You need an because accountant starts with a vowel sound, so you need an instead of a. I'm an accountant. He's a developer. But if you were talking about a group, you could say they're developers. They are developers. So notice in this case, there's no article, because the noun is plural, and you don't need an article with plural nouns. They're developers. So please, when you tell people what you do for a living, make sure you include the article. Otherwise, it will sound like your English is very beginner. Let's review this sentence. He has been jumping up and down for 2 hours. What's the mistake? This student wanted to use the present perfect continuous, but they didn't form it properly. So it's the incorrect structure. The correct structure is subject, have or has conjugated with the subject, which this student did, and then been, and then the verb in ing. So the student only made one mistake, but just one mistake with the structure of a sentence will make the entire sentence incorrect. The student used the verb in ing, being, when it should have been. So the correct sentence is, he has been jumping up and down for 2 hours. How about this one? You need to practice more your English lessons. What's the mistake? The mistake here is incorrect word order, because you don't practice more something, You practice something more. So the correct sentence is, you need to practice your English lessons more. You practice something, your English lessons, more. Now, if the something is obvious, you're talking about English lessons, you don't need to specify that. You could simply say, you need to practice more. So you can also use practice more, but without including the something. This is the final mistake, and it's the one that I hear the absolute most, even more than articles. This sentence is, the project doesn't go well. What's the mistake? So what verb tense is being used here? The sentence uses the present simple. But the present simple is for routine actions. And in this case, it's not a routine action. It's an action that's taking place right now. So the mistake is using the present simple when the present continuous should have been used. And this is by far the most common mistake that I hear advanced students make. The present simple. The correct sentence is, the project isn't going well. Isn't going. Is going, but in the negative. So we have our present continuous. Is going, is not going. The project isn't going well. Because we're talking about right now. Right now, the project isn't going well. You could absolutely use the present simple, but you would have to make the context appropriate. So it would need to be more of a routine action. Think of it as more of an in general. So you could say, our projects don't go well. So it's not necessarily the project right now, it's in general. In general, our projects don't go well. So just remember, right now, present continuous, in general, present simple. So were you making a lot of these mistakes? Don't worry if you were, because as I said, these are real mistakes that my real students make, and don't feel bad if you make them as well. The whole purpose of being here is to make mistakes, learn, improve, and grow. But let's find out if you truly know how to correct these mistakes. I am going to quiz you right now. Here are all the questions we just reviewed. Hit pause, and I want you to correct them, correct all the mistakes. And when you're ready to see the answers, hit play. So were you able to correct all of those mistakes? Let's find out. Here are the correct answers. Hit pause, review them, and when you're ready to continue, hit play. Think of everything you've learned in this masterclass already, but you're not done yet. We have one more section. We're going to focus on your reading skills. So we're going to read a news article together, and at the same time, you'll learn a lot of advanced vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. So let's read the article now. First, I'll read the headline. This beloved beverage has gone viral, but you might want to think twice before drinking it. Did you notice how I pronounced beloved, beloved? There are 3 syllables, beloved. This is important because generally when you have a voiced sound, the ED is pronounced as a soft D, and there's only 1 syllable at the end. So that means it would normally be beloved, beloved. And some native speakers do pronounce it as beloved, the 2 syllables, but it is common, more common to say beloved with the 3 syllables. Now let's talk about has gone viral. So the expression is to go viral. Here it's conjugated in the present perfect, but the verb is go, and that's what you would conjugate. When something goes viral, it means it becomes extremely popular on social media and usually happens in a short period of time. So fingers crossed that this video that you're watching right now goes viral. To help that, you can like the video. So hit the like button because that does help videos go viral. Okay, this beloved beverage has gone viral. So this beverage is now extremely popular on social media. But you might want to think twice before drinking it. Let's talk about this because we have might, want, and then the infinitive, to think. You might want to think. This is a great structure when you want to suggest something, but do it in a less severe way. Because notice this example, you must bring an umbrella. That sounds like a strong suggestion. If someone said that to me, I would 100% bring an umbrella. But if someone said, you might want to bring an umbrella, maybe I will, maybe I won't. So the article headline is not being very severe in its recommendation. And when you think twice about something, it's literally you should think about it and then you should think about it again. This is a common expression we use in English. So maybe your friend tells you, I want to quit my job. I hate my boss. You could reply back and say, you might want to think twice before quitting. So you're encouraging your friend. In this case, you're doing it in a gentle way because we use you might want to think twice. So you're encouraging your friend to think again, consider it again to make sure you're making the right decision. Now, don't worry about taking all of these notes because I summarize everything in a free lesson PDF. You can look for the link in the description. Now let's continue and find out what this beloved beverage is. The beverage, which is just adding lemon juice to water. Okay, so that's the beverage. It's lemon water. Has gone viral. We already know what this means in recent years due to its supposed health benefits, including boosting hydration. Now here, boosting is used to say increasing hydration. Hydration is the amount of water you have. So I wrote that here for you, but the technical definition of hydration is your body's ability to absorb water. So you have the water in your body, but then being able to use that water as energy, that would be hydration. Boosting hydration, adding vitamin C, and being an alternative to sugar-filled options like soda or fruit juice. So these are the different health benefits, which is why this beverage, lemon water, has gone viral. Now let's talk about supposed. It's supposed health benefits. This is a very important word because when I read this, I know that, okay, this is what people say that lemon water can do, but it hasn't been proven. Then you can use supposed. It's supposed health benefits. So it lets me know that there's some doubt around these health benefits. We very commonly use supposedly, the adverb form. For example, she supposedly stole the money. Now, if I got rid of supposedly, she stole the money, this sounds like a fact. But if I add she supposedly, someone said it, but it hasn't been confirmed. So this is just using the adjective form. She's a thief. That sounds like a fact. She's a supposed thief. So that isn't a fact. It's just what some people have said. Now notice this pronunciation, supposedly. There's 4 syllables, but here it's just supposed. So notice that pronunciation different. The trendy drink is all the rage. Some students ask me what trendy means because this is in a lot of different articles. Trendy simply means popular right now. So I'll write that for you. Popular right now. And all the rage, well, this is an expression. So the expression is to be all the rage. So you describe something as all the rage. This expression also means to be popular right now. But remember, you describe something as it. So we could say short videos like the ones you watch on YouTube Shorts. I do those as well. Short videos are, because we need our verb to be conjugated, short videos are all the rage right now. They're very popular right now. But this could change in a week or a month. So it's very temporary as well. But according to some doctors and dentists, it could be wreaking havoc in your mouth. When something wreaks havoc, it means it causes a lot of problems and it sounds very strong. So causes severe problems. Now notice the pronunciation of wreak. Reek. There's no W, it's silent. So it starts on a R, and then the vowel is E, reek. Wreak, wreaking havoc, because it's conjugated in the present continuous because it's happening right now. And remember, this simply means causing severe problems. I'm not going to lie. I see a lot of effects on patients' enamel. Okay, so notice how it said doctors and dentists. So right now, who do you think is talking? Well, a dentist, because enamel is on your teeth. It's what protects your teeth, I guess. I'm not a dentist. So Google tells me that enamel is the hard, white, shiny substance that forms the covering of a tooth. So it just covers your teeth. That's enamel. But it's important. It protects your teeth. I know my dentist always talks about enamel whenever I visit the dentist. Now notice here, I read this as I'm not going to lie. But that is not how native speakers say this. This is an expression, we use it a lot, and the expression is, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. So when you pronounce this, if you want to sound like a native speaker, don't say, I'm not going to lie. Say, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. You need to take better care of your teeth. I'm not gonna lie. You need to improve your English. So we use this as an expression before we share advice or a recommendation that we think the other person should follow. I'll read this again and I'll read it like a native speaker. I'm not gonna lie, I see a lot of effects on patients' enamel, the covering on their teeth, from drinking lemon water, one dentist said. So this is one of the reasons why we need to think twice, or we might want to think twice before drinking lemon water. When I see this, remember this is the dentist talking. When I see this, I ask them, what happened? Do you have acid reflux? What's changed? And they can't figure it out. So they being the patient. This is a conversation between the dentist and the patient. So the patient can't figure it out. They don't know why their teeth are in a worse condition compared to their last visit. And then I ask, and then the dentist asks, do you drink lemon water in the morning? When they confirm, so they say, yes, I do, that's confirming. When they confirm, I ask, do you brush your teeth right after too? When they confirm, so again, when they say, yes, I do, yes, I brush my teeth right after. I wrote that down for you so you can see the short form, yes, I do, and the long form, which is the full sentence. Yes, I drink lemon water. Because when you do the long form, you don't need to include do. So you don't need to say, yes, I do drink lemon water. It's just, yes, I drink lemon water, or yes, I do. When they confirm, I now understand the problem with their teeth. The doctor explained that brushing your teeth after drinking lemon water is basically brushing acid into your teeth. I highlighted this adverb basically because there's another very common one that will help you sound more fluent, which is essentially. Lemon water is essentially brushing acid into your teeth. Now, both of these mean just like. So when you do this, when you brush your teeth after drinking lemon water, it's just like brushing acid into your teeth. So it's the most important characteristic. You can use basically, You can use essentially, it's a little more advanced. And then you can use just like, which is a more casual way, but a native speaker would absolutely use this and it sounds very fluent. Instead, so here we have instead to transition from what the person is doing, and then they want to suggest an alternative. So instead of brushing your teeth after drinking lemon water, so if you wanted to include that information, notice that sentence structure, instead of, and then a gerund. But because it's obvious, they just said it, you can just use instead. Instead, she suggested we brush our teeth before we drink it, it being the lemon water, or wait 20 to 30 minutes after. Alternatively, so this is another adverb you can use instead of instead. So this is, again, another alternative. But because we already used instead, you don't want to use it again, although essentially you could. Alternatively, we can rinse our mouths with water to wash away any acid and then brush. Finally, so this is a third alternative, but notice the different adverbs used because you don't want to use the same ones again and again. So now you have 3 new adverbs that you can use when you're suggesting another possibility. And I think it's obvious, but finally, you can only use this before the final possibility. I think that's obvious, but I'll just say it. Finally, you can drink the lemon water with a straw to avoid teeth contact. She noted that this technique can be useful when drinking coffee too. I highlighted teeth contact because this is the noun form. To avoid something, which is teeth contact because of the enamel, right? But if you want to use a verb, you could. Just remember you need a gerund verb to avoid contacting your teeth. So it means the same thing, it's just a different sentence structure. She noted that this technique can be useful when drinking coffee too. I've heard that coffee is very acidic and can be harmful to your teeth. And I've heard it also stains your teeth, so causes your teeth to not be very white. So you can try this alternative. You can drink your coffee with a straw. And that's the end of the article. So what I'll do now is I'll read the article from start to finish, and this time you can focus on my pronunciation. This beloved beverage has gone viral, but you might want to think twice before drinking it. The beverage, which is just adding lemon juice to water, has gone viral in recent years due to its supposed health benefits, including boosting hydration, adding vitamin C, and being an alternative to sugar-filled options like soda or fruit juice. The trendy drink is all the rage, but according to some doctors and dentists, it could be wreaking havoc in your mouth. I'm not going to lie. I see a lot of effects on patients' enamel from drinking lemon water, one dentist said. When I see this, I ask them, what happened? Do you have acid reflux? What's changed? And they can't figure it out. And then I ask, do you drink lemon water in the morning? When they confirm, I ask, do you brush your teeth right after too? When they confirm, I now understand the problem with their teeth. The doctor explained that brushing your teeth after drinking lemon water is basically brushing acid into your teeth. Instead, she suggested we brush our teeth before we drink it or wait 20 to 30 minutes after. Alternatively, we can rinse our mouths with water to wash away any acid and then brush. Finally, you can drink the lemon water with a straw to avoid teeth contact. She noted that this technique can be useful when drinking coffee too.
Congratulations, you completed the masterclass. Now, do you want me to make more lessons just like this, more masterclasses? If you do, then put masterclass in the comments below. And of course, make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And you can keep improving your English with this lesson right now.